Okay, first of all, I just need to test the microphone, make sure I'm definitely being heard. Oh God. Hang on. Testing. Okay, that works. Whoa. Okay. Alright, so I'd like to apologize for yesterday's stream. It was a huge bust. I'm sorry to anyone who was disappointed by that. What had happened was, I don't know why this happened, but for some reason, I didn't change anything, but for some reason, the OBS settings were off somehow. But I managed to figure out what the problem was. I would have to look up how to do it again to know how to fix that problem again. But yeah, that was really like, because what happened was during the stream for about 20 minutes, I realized after 20 minutes I realized that my microphone had actually been muted. So and then I unmuted it, and I was disappointed by that. But what I didn't realize was that there was also that OBS setting that had somehow become the way it was, and it also the OBS setting had actually stopped the desktop audio as well. And so when I read a comment on yesterday's stream saying your microphone was turned off, I nearly replied with, oh yeah, that was just for the first 20 minutes. And then I thought, wait, what if there was something wrong with the microphone besides the muting? And so I checked the rest of the VOD, and I was like, oh my God. So I was already soul crushed by the fact that I was muted for 20 minutes, and then to realize that the whole stream had just been a waste of time was very disappointing. And I can't recreate everything that I said. All I can do is, to the best of my ability, recapped yesterday's stream. And and also I'm just going to start all over again with this comic, and hopefully this is the last time I have to do this. And I suppose it'll be good because I can just it'll help me retrace my steps. And that's why we're going to do this way. Now, what else was I going to say? But before we get into it, I just need to talk about last night's movie. So for those who don't know, during what is my afternoon nighttime, like 7:30 in Australia, I stream movies on Twitch. And last night I saw a movie called Skinamarink. And it was not an enjoyable experience, but it was one of the worst movies I ever watched in terms of what it was like to watch. And I just had to talk about it because it was a really boring movie, but it really freaked me out. And the boringness of the movie is what contributes to that. So I just needed to explain how I was impressed. I'm impressed by the perplexing experience of having seen that. Yeah. So that's my recap of last night's stream. What else should I'm trying to think of things to recap from yesterday. So now, the good news is, unlike the last couple of days, where the streams had to be short because I had to take off, originally I was going to get up earlier so that I could do another quick stream, but for whatever reason my work shift has been cancelled, so I get to read longer. So I'll be able to read beyond what I've already read today, so that's great. Otherwise, I might have done this stream another day, another time. Now, now something that I did bring up during yesterday's stream was some comments. One is a comment on the original Thirst of these streams that I've been doing with Homestuck. Let me just find it. And there's another comment that just somebody commented in the the live chat yesterday. Wish that person had told me that I was muted and so that there was something wrong with my microphone. But that's okay. I can't expect everyone to stick around to tell me that. I should have figured that out myself, actually. But anyways, let me find the comment on the Thirst stream, VOD stream. Okay, so I don't know if anyone wants their names to be said out loud, so I'm just gonna read the comment out without saying anyone's names. Okay, let's see. So this person says, you're understandably confused, so let me explain some things without any spoilers, of course. Thank you. So Homestuck was an interactive webcomic where the author, Hussey, would essentially draw a panel and a forum, and a forum would submit a prompt to continue the story, which is why the shit on your desk prompt was a user-submitted suggestion. So Homestuck at Thirst is this wild back and forth between audience and author. Think of it like Hussey is a D&D dungeon master who has a pre-existing idea for a story. Readers submit prompts trying to figure out the story by exploring the environment. Hussey would use this process to slowly introduce the world and its mechanics, such as capture logging, how to use the Silodex, etc. Of course, as the story got bigger and more plot-driven, the user-submitted prompts were phased out, and Hussey started to just lead the story where they wanted it to go as he intended. But all the way up to Act 4 was completely interactive with the fan base. In Homestuck, there are also mini-games, animation, and music, but that all mostly comes later down the line. The pilot you watched adapted to about 150 pages of Homestuck, and Act 1 is about 300 pages. The beta you stumbled on at the end was the initial run of the first few pages of Homestuck, where everything was going to be completely flash animated, but it was scrapped quickly because of all the work it would have entailed. So it's only included in the main comic as a silly little reference to Homestuck's Thirst iteration. You only got a few pages in, which is really not enough for the story to get going at all. I hope you continue. It's a slow burn, and it's weird and quirky, but so rewarding with such fun characters and tons of lore to get invested in. I'd recommend trying to at least get through Act 2 before deciding if you like it or not, though all the best parts come after Act 3. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask and I'll answer with no spoiler info. Thank you. So that's that piece of information is interesting. The part that the comic initially was being written by the audience that was reading it. Very fascinating. Obviously, it's Andrew Hussey's story, but in terms of how the story was being formulated was seemingly being done by the readership. I love that. But at the same time, it's interesting to consider that that's an aspect of I'm experiencing the story very differently from how everyone else seemed to have experienced the story back in the day, and that's what's it should be acknowledged that what is interesting about Homestuck I guess, is that initially a lot of it seems to be like a bit of a be there moment. Like this is literally coming. This is like it's set in 2009, and it seems to be. I think it started in 2009. Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember, like, so these characters are like 13 years old, and in the cartoon rather, the cartoon, like, they don't, to me, that for some reason, like, when I watched the cartoon, I thought they were 17. But in the comic, they do, this character does look like a 13-year-old to me, probably because he's shorter than this, than his chest of drawers here. But I think the reason I probably looked at the characters in the cartoon and thought that's a 13-year-old, that's a 17-year-old, I think it's because back in 2009, I was 17, so that was probably just me, like, projecting my 2009 experience onto the cartoon at the time. But yeah, it's very nostalgic. It's interesting that, like, stuff that is nostalgic for me has been sort of emerging in pop culture at the moment. 2000s are problematic for their own reasons, but there's stuff where it's just like, yeah, but I kind of miss those little things, you know. But yeah, anyways, what else do I have to say? Yeah, people have been sort of complaining about the pilot, and I don't really relate that much. Like I said that, I'm trying to remember what my reaction was, because like I sort of said that after I watched the pilot that I pretty much just felt the same as I did before. It didn't really change how I felt about the cartoon. Didn't make me vehemently against it. But I don't know, I've been seeing some people trying to make a case for why the pilot was bad, but I don't think it was bad at all. It was just like, I didn't understand what was going on, but I thought it was, I don't know, I don't know, people are saying that it was boring, and I'm like, but it was really fast paced. And the thing is, like, I've rewatched the pilot a few more times now, and I notice something different every time, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate that a lot, and I don't have the full context for it because I don't know the whole story. But that's the other thing is, I do wish people would just chill a bit with the whole, just give it a chance, because it's just the pilot episode. It's not even a whole series yet. And from what I understand, like, it was, like, fairly accurate to the comic, and like not that I've read enough to say so myself, but like, so based on what I've read of Homestuck so far, I feel like the pilot's done a great job. In a way, like, I can see, like, it is interesting, like, how they've had to reinterpret it to make sense for a cartoon. So I'm just mixing my coffee right now. Now, I need to find the other comment that somebody left in the chat, because I thought that was also interesting. Let's see, where is it? Oh yes, so yeah, that's right. Okay, here it is. So the person said, "Hi, oh man, you're in the most boring part of Homestuck. I'm rereading it, and honestly, if you read fast, you can get to Act 5. You can get to Act 5, Act 2 in quite a small time." And I think my verbal response to this person at the time was, "It's all good. I'm not in a race." And the fact that people have mentioned Act 5, that's two people who have mentioned that things get good in Act 5. And Yeah, okay, this might not be that interesting so far, but I'm looking forward to the build up and the anticipation, and that's why I don't mind taking my time because, yeah, I'll know that the destination will be interesting. I don't know how many acts Homestuck is, but yeah, I'm very curious to see where it's all heading in the end. Let me just check to see if there's anyone's in the chats. I can't see anyone on Twitch. Let me just see if there's anyone on YouTube. Okay, no one on YouTube. Okay, I don't see anyone. Oh, good. Well, let's see. In terms of how long this stream's going to go on, it's going to be a bit longer, but I will have to stop at some point just to do some serious stuff. Okay, let me just drink some coffee. Okay. A young man stands in his room. It just so happens that today, the 13th of April 2009, is this young man's birthday. Though it was 13 years ago he was given life, it is only today he will be given a name, which is a very long time to get a name. What will the name of this young man be? Zeusmel, poop lord. Try again, smartass. John Egbert. Ding, ding, ding. Oh yeah, hang on. Another thing about the pilot. So I knew it was being made by the Vivzy Pop group. Not that Vivzy Pop is, not that Vivian Madrano is writing the show. So, I gotta talk about this. So, some people were apparently complaining about the swearing in. That people heard the swearing in the Homestuck pilot, and they thought, "Oh, that must have been Vivzy Pop. That must have been Vivian Madrano." And it's like, Vivian Madrano did not invent swearing, and I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm so sick of that. This idea. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, people swear. That's what happens in real life, okay? That's just... And also, like, I did get far enough in the comic to... where what's his name? John and the other dude, the irony-poisoned guy, was... where they were having like a back and forth. Oh, that's right. And he said something like, "There she fucks," and I thought that line was really funny at the time. But yeah, I did recognize some of the dialogue in yesterday's read from the pilot in the comic. Let's see. Oh yeah, and the other thing about the pilot was I didn't realize that Vivzy Pop has gotten so big that they now have an Australian division. So the pilot itself is actually being animated in Australia, which I think is really cool. So I'm glad about. I'm glad for any Australian animators who get to work on that, getting some jobs. But at the same time, like when it comes to like, you know, anything being produced in Australia, it's like, it's hard for me to care about it being an Australian production if Australian actors aren't involved, and I still am a bit annoyed that every Australian character in Vivzy Pop's works tend to have this like drongo stereotype, and I don't think I don't think. Let's see. I know Cherry Bomb is not being voiced by an Australian actress. I don't think. Let's see. There was that animal character from her Zoophobia short. Also Drongo. She literally says Drongo in that cartoon as well. I don't know where her actress is from, and I don't know about the guy from Hell of a Boss. I can't remember what his actor was, but yeah, me and my friend, we both we both were like, yeah, we don't really like that particular type of representation. We don't have much appreciation for it. We prefer underrepresented type of way of being Australian, not the stereotype. Anyways, let me just check something. Alright. Your name is John. As was previously mentioned, it is your birthday. A number of cakes are scattered about your room. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for really terrible movies. You like to program computers, but you are not very good at it. You have a fondness for paranormal lore and are an aspiring amateur magician. You also like to play games sometimes. What will you do? So, if I was 13 years old, I wouldn't want to play games sometimes. I would like to play games all the time. My history with games is I begged my parents for a PS2 growing up, and unfortunately I had parents who really bought hard into the idea that games cause violence, so I was never allowed to play video games growing up. So I have a lot of games I need to catch up on. Right now I'm trying to finish Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm not very good at it. But I will finish it, because I'm a completionist. Quickly retrieve arms from chest. Your arms are in your magic chest, Poop Lord. Let's see, remove cake from magic chest. Out of sympathy for John's perceived lack of arms, you pick up the cake for him and put it on his bed. So, the whole, I do like the fact that he is drawn to look like he doesn't have arms. And as I was saying, either in the first stream or yesterday's failed stream, this whole arm thing is not adapted into the cartoon that we've seen so far. He's drawn to look... The characters are drawn to look more normal, whereas this looks more like a computer. This looks more like concept for a game, rather than a cartoon or a... what do you call it? A game, yeah, rather than a comic. So, yeah. Let's get those arms back. Quickly retrieve arms from magic chest. You retrieve your fake arms from the chest. You use these for hilarious antics. You capture log them into your Silodex. You have no idea what that actually means, though. There are other items in the chest. Yes, the items. Let me try to remember what the items are. Let's see, there's a book called Wise Guy. There's a book about frivolous magic and practical drapery. Smoke pellets, blood tablets. What do you call it? The silly glasses, the Beagle Puss glasses. A magic wand, a wizard's hat, and a sword. So that's 7 things that I'm recalling. let's see what we find. Okay, I might have oh, that's right. It wasn't a sword. It was handcuffs. Okay. Whoops. Oh, I think I almost remembered everything. I think let's read. Let's read it. Read and find out. In here, you keep an array of humorous and mystical artifacts, each one a devastating weapon in the hands of a skilled magician or a cunning prankster. You are neither of these things. I love that call out there. Among the artifacts are 2 fake arms, currently capture logged in your Silodex, 1 pair of trick handcuffs, 1 stunt sword. A stunt sword, that's right. Okay, so there was a sword. Okay, so this is a sword. I don't know why I thought... I must have gotten the hat mixed up with the wand. Okay. Magician's hat, 1 pair of beagle puss glasses, several smoke pellets, several blood capsules, and 1 copy of Colonel Sasker's daunting text of magical frivolity, and practical drapery, and 1 copy of Harry Anderson's Wise Guy by Mike Cabernet. Some of this stuff may come in handy at some point, but for now you decide to just take the smoke pellets. Sorry, I misread that initially. Who cares? Let me just check the chat. It's really quick. All right. Just came out to drink some coffee. Okay. Sorry, that's my coffee machine turning itself off, but I'll be turning it back on at some point. Okay. Alright. You stow the smoke pellets on your capture log cards in your Silodex. You still aren't totally sure what that means, but you are starting to get the hang of the vernacular at least. I am starting to get the hang of the vernacular at least, because I've read this multiple times now. So, yeah. You have 2 empty capture log cards remaining. Okay, so I'm trying to think. What I think is going on is, I think the Silodex is a... so I think the Silodex is a, what do you call it? I guess it's like a thing that you put the capture log cards in, and the capture log cards is what you store things in. So it's like software existing in the real world. He's like putting his hardware in the software. That's how it comes across to me at the moment. You aren't totally sure if equip is a verb copacetic with the abstract behavioral medium in which you dwell, but you give it a try anyway. So yesterday, I didn't know what copacetic meant, so I looked it up. It means in excellent order. So I'm just going to reread this. You aren't totally sure if equip is a verb in excellent order with the abstract behavioral medium in which you dwell, but you give it a try anyway. And the abstract behavioral medium in which I dwell is how I will be referring to my living quarters from now on. Unfortunately, you cannot access the fake arms. Their card is underneath the one you just used to capture log the smoke pellets. You will have to use the pellets first in order to access the arms. Sorry, excuse me. But this is probably unadvisable since you just make your room lousy with smoke. Your Silodex's fetch modus is currently dictated by the logic of a stack data structure. You were never all that great with data structures, and you find the concept puzzling and mildly irritating. But with any hope, perhaps you will advance new, more practical fetch modi for the Silodex with a little more experience. Okay, examine problem with sleuth poster. Okay. Is it even possible to get any more hard-boiled than that? You really doubt it. This poster was one of your wisest purchases. There is a nice spot on the wall next to it. You've been meaning to hang another poster there soon. Yeah, so I already know that if I click on this will lead to a merch shop. So I've already seen that, so I won't click on that again. Let's read the note on the drawer. Again. Okay. Happy birthday, son. I'm so proud of you. This note is rich with the aromas of fatherly sorry. I said fatherly alternatives, I meant this note is rich with the aromas of fatherly aftershaves and colognes. Beside the note is a rolled up poster. Take the poster. Another birthday artifact. Another birthday artifact. You wonder what is printed on the poster. You'll need some way to hang it on the wall. Yeah, and this is where we get the hammer and nails. Acquire hammer and nails. They will come in handy. You first place the hammer into your Silodex. But now all your capture log cards are full. You wonder what will happen if you try to take the nails. You guess it doesn't hurt to try. Take the nails. You capture log 4 nails into the top card and push all the artifacts down a card. The fake arms are pushed entirely out of the deck. Oh well. They're probably completely useless anyway, but you probably don't want to do that again. Unless you want to drop the smoke pellets and suffer the consequences. In any case, you now feel like you have gathered enough things to get down to business and do some really important stuff. The next thing you do will probably be exceptionally meaningful. Oh boy. Squawk like an imbecile and shit on your desk. This is the dumbest idea you've had in weeks. Stupid, and yet the polished surface on your desk, it beckons. Yeah, so I still find it interesting that you see that stuff like that was not adapted into the cartoon we saw. Yeah, there are just going to be things that are unique to this comic, and it's random. And as that person was saying, it's because of stuff like that Homestuck has this like very random, meandering beginning for a long time. But okay, so anyways, we'll continue. Combine the nails and hammer. You merge the top 2 cards. The hammer and nails are now capture logged on the same card and can be used together. Yay! Use hammer nails on poster. King. What the? Okay, it's probably just an animation. You use the hammer and nails the card in conjunction with the card beneath it. Nail poster to wall. Okay, and it's done. You use the hammer, nails, and poster on the blank space on the wall. It's glorious, exactly what you wanted. The old man really came through this time. Examine Con Air poster. Put the bunny back in the box. I said put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box? Examine deep impact poster. Yes, I've already said this before, but I've never heard anyone say that Con Air was a bad movie. It sounds like it's an awesome movie, and it's one of those Nick Cage movies that I've been meaning to watch for a while, so maybe I won't be watching it on Twitch anytime soon, just because it's October and I want to stick to horror movies. But as I was saying before, just watched Skinner Marink last night, and it was just awful. It was like such an awful feeling that movie gave me. I recommend it to anyone who has patience. Anyways, let's examine the Deep Impact poster. So I've never seen Deep Impact, but according to this, Morgan Freeman's in it. Morgan Freeman's genteel, homespun mannerisms were perfect qualities for a president residing over a crisis. Oceans rise, cities fall, hope survives. Wow. Films about impending apocalypse fascinate you. Plus a black president, now you've seen everything. Well, I wouldn't say that, but there's still many different types of people who could become president one day. I think possibly at the time that this was being published, Barack Obama probably wasn't president yet. I think he did become president in 2009 or 8. I can't remember. When did he become president? Actually, let me just look this up. When were you president? Okay, no, that's when he was a senator. When was he president? Okay, yeah. Oh no, he would have been president at this time, because if this was coming out, I don't know when all of this was being published, but Obama was president back in January of 2009. So this character, I don't know, it's probably not supposed to be set in our world. Alright, okay, here we go. You've marked your birthday the 13th of April. Another day you marked was supposed to be the arrival date for the highly touted Spurb beta launch. So I already experienced this during the Thirst stream, where I reread everything before, but everything had sound effects and animation and interactivity. And I hope stuff like that happens again in the future with this comic, because that was really, really cool. Now, I have to, I didn't mention this yesterday, and I didn't mention this in the previous stream, but I've got to be honest about something. When I watched the cartoon, the pilot, when the characters said, "Have you played the new Spurb game?" I thought they were saying sperm. So I thought they were talking about a sperm game, and I was like, what the fuck? So, and now that and it wasn't until I was reading the comic that, actually no, it wasn't, no, yeah, that's right, I think it was actually, I can't remember if it was when I was reading the comic or back when, or if it was during one of the, I can't remember exactly at what point I put together what they were talking about was the game S-Burb, or Suburb. But I know that now, but I just needed to share the fact that initially that's not what I heard when I first watched the cartoon. It's been 3 days already. It's starting to become a sore subject with you. And I said yesterday that I feel that because I know what that's like to wait for a long time for something. I've waited 3 years for something I ordered at one time. So that's my sore subject. Let's eat some cake. Okay. You are sick to death of cake. You've been eating it all day. And you have no intention of clogging your Silodex with it either. The cake stays put for now. You hear a notice from your computer. Someone is messaging you. Okay, let's examine the incoming message. So this guy is into Ghostbusters, obviously. And that's why there's like little splashes of green here and there. You pull up your computer. This is where you spend most of your time. Same. You decorated your desktop with some rather handsome wallpaper, which you made yourself. You don't say. You are really proud of it. Yeah, okay. This looks so... This is what it used to look like. Your desktop is also littered with various programming project files. You are so bad at programming sometimes you wonder why you even bother with it. Well, you gotta start somewhere. I mean, the fact that he's 13 and he's into computer programming at all and just not very good at it is still impressive for a 13-year-old. Anyways. Your Pester Chum application is flashing. Someone is trying to get in touch with you. So yesterday, when I was reading this, I was like, what the heck is Pester Chum? Because I don't think that's right, because I hadn't read this part during the first stream, and I had gone into this part yesterday. And so I read that and I was like, Pester Chum, what the heck is that? And so I looked up to see whether or not it was a thing that existed before the comic, and no, there's no such thing as a Pester Chum application at the time, but it did become real, is what I understood to be the case yesterday. I haven't looked into it myself yet, but basically from what I can gather, it is supposed to be the in-universe chat room here, but in the cartoon, they're not portraying everything as like a chat room. Everyone's just talking to each other on their flip phones instead. And I mean, I guess that's fine, but I think they could have still gotten, I don't know, I feel like they could have still kept the chat room thing while portraying what the characters are like, with their personalities. But I don't know, maybe maybe that would have made it more confusing, because it was a bit of a brain blast the first time you watch it. Okay. Your Pester Chum application is flashing. Someone is trying to get in touch with you. Open the Pester Chum. Only one of your chums is logged in. He sent you a message. Open message. Okay. Turntech guard began pestering ectobiologist at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, so what sort of insane loot did you rake in today? I got a little Monsters poster. It's so awesome. I'm going to watch it again today. The apple juice scene was so funny. To hell. The apple juice. Yeah, okay. Oh hell, that is such a coincidence. I just found an unopened container of apple juice in my closet. It is like fucking Christmas up in here. Okay, that's fine. I just have one question, and then a word of caution. Have you ever seen a movie called Little Monsters starring Howie Mandel and Fred It's Fred Savage. But the seal on the bottle is unbroken. Are you suggesting someone put piss in my apple juice at the factory? All I'm saying is, don't you think Monster Howie Mendel has the power to do something as simple as reseal a bottle? Try using your brain, nuts. Why did the fat kid or whoever drank it know what piss tasted like? I mean, his reaction was nigh instantaneous. It was the 15th day in a row Howie Mendel peed in his juice. Yesterday when I was reading this part, I was like, I sort of said that I wasn't really enjoying reading this part, and I recognize some of the dialogue from this in the cartoon, but I can also see how maybe when they were writing for the pilot, they probably thought, yeah, we don't need to like have this like piss talk in the cartoon. We don't want to like scare anyone off, so that's probably why. But other than that, this very much reads exactly the way me and my best mate talk to each other via text. So it's very immersive, I have to say. Let's see. Okay, I can accept that. Monster B-list celebrity douchebags are cunning and persistent pranksters. Also, Fred Savage has a really punchable face. But who cares about this? Let's start talking about it. Did you get the beta yet? No. Did you? Man, I got 2 copies already, but I don't care. I'm not going to play it or anything. The game sounds boring. Did you see how it got slammed in Game Bro? Game Bro is a joke, and we both know it. So, as I was saying yesterday as well, in the cartoon, John responds to Turn Tech God. Game Bro is a joke, and you know it. But in the comic, the story, the original story, he's saying we both know it. So yeah, it's just a little change. And I feel like in the cartoon it probably makes more sense to say you know it as opposed to we know it. Because I feel like it sort of went without saying that he knew it if he's telling the other guy that he knows it. I know this. That's how I sort of see it. Okay. Yeah, why don't you check your mail? Maybe it's there now. Alright, let's look out the window. Oh yes, I think this is... Yes, okay, so this is where I stopped yesterday. So we're looking out the window. You see the view of your yard from your window. Hanging from the tree is your tire swing in a kid's yard. A tree without a tire swing is like a proper gentleman without a monocle. That is to say, he can hardly be considered a terrible... sorry. That is to say, he can hardly be considered a terribly proper gentleman at all. And there, besides your driveway, is the mailbox. So I just need to pause here for a moment because I kind of want some more coffee. So just give me some time to get that sorted for a minute, and we will finally go beyond this point, and hopefully we can read as much as what the pilot was able to cover, and if we go beyond that, all the better. Alright, so just give me... I would like to read the first, 300 pages today, if we can. Let me just save this so I don't lose my spot. time to continue. Let's examine the mailbox. Let's see, we're looking at it. That's a cool drawing. So he's looking out the window. The little red arm swing dealy thing or whatever. The little red arm swingy dealy thing or whatever it is called is flipped up. What the hell is that thing called anyway? You do not have time for the semantics. The red flippy lever thing means you have new mail. And that means the beta might be here. Go outside and check mailbox. Whoop, car's pulling in. You are about to hurry downstairs when you hear a car pull into the driveway. It looks like your dad has returned from the grocery store. Well, at least he returned from the store. Oh great, he is beating you to the mailbox. Sorry. Alright, forget it, check mail later, okay. Alright. If you go downstairs to get it, he will likely monopolize hours of your time. Yeah. You decide to chill out up here for a while until the dust settles. Sometimes you feel like you are trapped in this room, stuck if you will, in a sense which possibly borders on the titular. And now your chum is pestering you again. The clockwork of friendship turns ceaselessly. Operating the swing lever dealies of harassment in oh my god, what a sentence. The clockwork of friendship turns ceaselessly, operating the swing lever dealies of harassment in perpetuity. Oh my god. Whatever, the dude can just hold his damn horses. Okay, examine games on CD rack. I remember having a CD rack. I remember building a CD rack. Let's see. You've put countless hours into this assortment of quality titles. Okay, cool. Read Colonel Saskray's daunting text. Okay. Oh, what an ugly book. I own a book that looks like this, though. You decide to consult with Colonel's bottomless wisdom. Good grief, this thing is huge. It could kill a cat if you dropped it. But to really dig into this hefty book, you will have to capture log it. Seems like he can't do anything unless he's got the capture log cards. You are not sure you are ready to log jam your other artifacts beneath it just yet. Okay. Capture log fake arms again. Okay. What did you just say? What did you just say? You don't want to clog up your... Oh, Jesus. In a momentary lapse of concentration, you accidentally capture log the arms again. Damn. So hang on. Yeah, so I'm starting to think I should watch the pilot again because I'm not sure if everything I just read before was... I don't remember if he read this book or not in the pilot, so I don't know. I'm wondering, is it possible, will the pilot, because I know that Hell of a Boss, like with that pilot in particular, they eventually the pilot got replaced with a remake of the pilot to be more canonical and having like the new voice actors intact and such. So I'm wondering, there's a possibility that the pilot episode for Homestuck could also get a remake with maybe they'll start all over again once they're once everything is totally greenlit. You never know. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Set Pester Chum status to bully. You don't think the situation is quite dire enough to go all the way to rancorous, but you still feel the Pester Chum client should reflect your mood change in some way. Okay, let me just... Palsy, chipper, chummy... what's that? I don't know what that one is. Rancorous, but yeah. Okay. Bully will have to do, you guess. This, unsurprisingly, does nothing whatsoever. Oh, right, you forgot your chum is still pestering you. Answer chum. Let me just drink some coffee before I read this long-ass dialogue scene. I have to figure out a way to, like, convince my friend to read this. Coffee's still a bit hot, so we'll get straight into it. Okay, Turn Tech God is saying, is it there? Please say yes. Maybe you can play with TT. Who's TT? Maybe you can play with TT. She's been pestering me all day about it. She's macking on me so hard all the time. I start to feel embarrassed for her. I mean, not that I can blame her or anything. God damn, dude. What a slimy son of a bitch. Okay. Yes, yes, it is understandable because you are really attractive. I am attracted to you. This is how me and my friend talk to each other. Thank you, JK. No, I don't have it yet. Okay, now, so, oh man. So, I was saying in the pilot that in the pilot, the girl, I don't know what the girl's name is, but she brought up the fact that Turn Tech God is attractive, and then he seemed to be like, oh, really? Like, he seemed to be disappointed to hear that, and then he sort of, but then eventually he was like, yeah, we all have our moments of weakness. I definitely, I also agree that he's attractive, and then he says some other sus stuff about what he's going to do to the mailbox, but I don't know, the attraction thing, it's I almost feel disappointed, actually, because, with the pilot now, because the fact that he said, yeah, you're attractive, I'm attracted to you, like, it seemed like he was sincere, that there is some sincerity about that. I'm not saying the character is bisexual, I'm just saying the character is, saying you're, is saying, yeah, that character is attractive, cool. But I almost feel, the reason I'm a little bit disappointed with the cartoon is that it seems like he brought up the attraction thing himself here, unprompted by anyone else, but it seemed like they used the girl to prompt that in the cartoon, and I don't know why they did that, but I'm disappointed by it, because I just feel like that doesn't happen. It's just more interesting to me that he just brought it up himself here, whereas it's just brought up by this other person in the cartoon. That's sort of what I think, anyway. And as I said, like, this is literally how me and my friend talk to each other. Like, we do, like, we just, I won't get into too much detail about it, but well, this is how we talk to each other. And, okay, where was I? Thank you. JK jokes, haha. No, I don't have it yet. My dad has the mail, and I guess I have to get it from him and see if it's there. And I've been busy spending all afternoon shitting around with my stupid Silodex. It's so frustrating. What's your modus? What? How do you retrieve artifacts from it? Oh, like one at a time, I guess. And if I put too much in, something falls out. Stack. What is yours? Hash map. My bro taught me a few tricks. He basically knows everything and is awesome. Oh my god. What the hell is that? You should probably brush up on your data structures, I guess. Did you at least allocate your strife specibus? No. It could free up a card for you. Plus, it could free up a card for you, plus let you attack stuff whenever things get too hot to handle, which is never. What have you got? Well, I've got a hammer, but it's trapped under some arms. Wow, you really suck at this, don't you? Just get rid of the arms and then allocate the hammer to the specibus. How? I don't know, just use the arms on any old thing and see if it works. Combine fake arms with cake. Let me just drink some more coffee. I'll just... I'm just going to check the chat, see if there's anything I should be looking at. Nope. All good. Okay. You stick the fake arms in the cake on your bed. This definitely makes the cake at least 300% more hilarious. I did laugh immediately when I saw the cake. You're sure Colonel Sassacra, I cannot pronounce that character's name. You're sure the Colonel would know the precise index of elevated hilarity. Okay, so is the Colonel some sort of comedian or... Oh wait, no, he's the guy that... okay, yeah, I guess the Colonel is some sort of magician person. Allocate hammer to strife specibus. Okay. Hammer kind, okay. Okay, kind abstrata. Hammer kind. You check the back of your strife specibus for the kind abstratus you have in mind for it. Select hammer. I guess, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess, so what I was saying about the whole, like, the character just saying, oh, yes, you're attractive, I'm attracted to you. I guess it's not so much sincere was probably the wrong word. Comfortable to express that, even as joke, was, without saying no homo, is what I liked about that, is what I liked that part of the dialogue, because that's... and the reason, as I said, I'm disappointed that they sort of brought it up initially in a way that seemed uncomfortable because someone else brought it up, someone else prompted it, rather than the characters just organically doing that themselves. Yeah, that's probably the best way I could put that. Just saying that out loud so that I remember for the future in case I need to talk about all of this in detail in future videos. Your Strife Specibus has been allocated with the Hammer kind Abstratus. The Hammer has been moved from your Capture Log deck to your Strife deck. Report progress to turn tech guard. Okay, I did it. Hammer kind? Yeah. Okay. That will be the permanent allocation for your Specibus. I guess I should have mentioned that. Hope you like hammers, dude. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I can't imagine it's going to be all that relevant. Oh my god, it's amazing how much this is exactly how me and my friend text each other. Like I got a PC some months ago, which is why I'm able to stream efficiently for the most part. Because the MacBook, it was just not practical because it kept shutting down all the time. But yeah, we constantly go back and forth about like stuff where I'm like, because I don't know much about PCs at all, so I ask him, ask my friend like, hey, what do I do? And he'll be like, oh, do you know this and that? And I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, look, here's how you do it. And yeah, anyways, it's just amazing how real this feels. Let's see, Capture Log Kernel's Big Book. Now that you've got some space in your Silodex to work with, you figure you might as well start squandering it immediately. Ordinarily, this ridiculous book would be way too heavy to carry around in any practical way. You guess maybe this is one respect in which the cards present some convenience. Okay, examine GameBro magazine. GameBro, Spurb, why the game of the year or whatever isn't as good as some other stuff I like that's better. Well put. Let's read the article. Let me just drink some coffee. Okay, let's read this Suburb game review. Yeah, so as I was saying yesterday, I'm fascinated by the symbology of this, because obviously the game is called Homestuck. We've got this visual of a green home in the middle of what looks like to be some sort of weave. And initially, I thought this was supposed to be like a flower, but it's not. I think it's just the lines are being interrupted so that we can clearly see the house is stuck in some sort of barrier or spider web, and it looks really cool. Okay, so Spurb is this game that a lot of cats, oh god, cats, I hate them. Ever since I watched H-Bomber Guy's video about Kevin's, he did a video called Scanline about VHS tapes, and he brought up a movie called Mallrats, and then he also read out something that Kevin Smith had said one time, and Kevin Smith referred to people as like, he said something like some cats, and then H-Bomber Guy said, oh god, I hate the way he talks sometimes, and ever since that I'm just like, oh no, every time I hear somebody say refer to other people as cats, it's just like, why would you? Yeah, I don't like it. Well, I liked it once when someone else said it. but I don't like it in this particular case. Anyway. Okay. Spurb is this game that a lot of cats seem hella pumped for. And this beta is sitting on my desk for review, so I'm like, yeah, man, I'll write something. But I don't know. I'm like, so this is about houses or some noise. Oh, God, some noise. That's fine. I'm sure that's like fucking dynamite in a handbag for some brosifs. Okay? But all I'm saying is, when do you get to thrash anything? While you're playing house or some shit, are you even in jeopardy of getting mud on your doll's dress or whatever from the busting out? And I quote, the mad stunts, all wicked up-ins. Oh, this is written so bad. This is hilarious. Know what I'm saying, bro yama? I didn't actually play this game, but I gave a 1.5 hats out of 5 hats to keep it real. Bro. At this point, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Dennis, who was over the other day. We were going to chill in front of the Dark Knight. We're going to chill in front of the Dark Knight. And he was so psyched of it all. What? He was so psyched of it, y'all? Oh, okay. So this one time he was leaning against the screen door, and the back deck was wet, and he slipped, and he slipped down the steps and broke his thumb on the lawn. It wasn't a long fall, but hey, I guess a thumb bone wasn't made for supporting the blunt of a huge useless tool against wet grass. We never did watch Dark Knight on account of Ron trucking his bowling candy ass girth to the hospital. Woof. But it's cool. I still got another watch in me. Brotel Rwanda. Oh no! Why would you? I know what Hotel Rwanda is. I haven't seen it, but I know what the movie's about. It's based on a real thing. It's a movie about a genocide. So it's just a bit wild that this shit post has just ends it with Brotel Rwanda. So yeah, let's capture log the game, bro, I guess. It might come in handy if you ever need something that burns easily. Yes! That is so good. That was so good. Sorry. Okay, capture log magician's hat. Okay. You expend your final card on the magician's hat. Get funny glasses too. You don't have a free card in your Silladex. However, you are able to merge the Beagle Puss with the magician's hat to create a clever disguise. Let me just see where this goes. Okay, it's just Beagle. Okay. Okay, John. Wear disguise to fool dad. Yeah, okay, let's do that then. John? Who is this John you speak of? You are quite certain there has never been, nor ever will be. Yeah, this is a really shitty disguise. While you are wearing the items, they remain on the card, but it is temporarily removed from the deck. thus freeing up the cards beneath it. Okay. So I was just thinking about how the capture logging is presented in the pilot, and it's probably could have used some work. Yeah, like it was interesting to look at the capture logging, at least on my rewatch of it, see how the capture logging was presented in the pilot, but like it feels easier to understand it by actually to actually read it rather than watch it. That's what I have to say about that. Okay. While you are wearing the items, they remain on the card, but it is temporarily removed from the deck, thus freeing up the cards. Okay, so it's time to leave the room. Okay. This looks familiar, but I can't remember where I've seen this before. Okay. Let me just drink some more coffee. Okay. You exit into the hallway. Okay, so this is the hallway. Okay. Imagine having this in your hallway. This I can kind of understand. It looks awful, but I understand it. I can see some weirdos who would have this for some reason. Sorry, I just want to test something. I'll be back in a moment. Let me just test something. Never mind, I can't do anything at the moment about it. I thought I could change something, but it's all good. Okay. On one wall hangs a picture of a fella who sure knows how to have a laugh, a man after your own heart. You always thought he looked a lot like Michael Cera. Michael Cera, is that the guy who... Is he the guy that's in Juno and Scott Pilgrim and also Arrested Development? Let me just make sure I've got that right. Yep, okay, that is Scott Pilgrim. So I can't remember when Scott Pilgrim came out. Sorry, that's my coffee machine going off again. Okay, as I was saying. What was I saying? So I didn't actually, I have not seen or read Scott Pilgrim yet. I've been meaning to. There's a sort of like, in my mind, you know, like when certain bits of media where they have like certain, when certain bits of media, they've got like certain, they've got like, they're very unique from each other, but they've got other things that they sort of have like crossover appeal, and they sort of almost belong in the same category. An example, so to use an example, I think things like Homestuck, Scott Pilgrim, Undertale. What's another thing? And I guess also murder drones potentially all exist in a similar space of appreciation. Like, they have like certain, what's the word? They've got certain qualities in common while also being very unique from each other. That's why I really do need to get back more into Undertale, and I should also read Scott Pilgrim one day. I'm not sure if I should watch the movie first, or if I should read the comic first. So, well, I'll find out I'll have to figure that out at some point. Anyways, but yeah, as I was saying, it's interesting that I thought that things like Scott Pilgrim and Undertale sort of exist in the same category of quality, along with everything else I mentioned, while also this comic actually bringing up the actor from Scott Pilgrim. And I'm pretty sure this was before the Scott Pilgrim movie as well. Just saying. Okay, now where was I? But your dad swears on the many hallowed tombs of Egypt that it is not. So I should read this again. You exit into the hallway. On the wall hangs a picture of a fella who sure knows how to have a laugh. A man after your own heart. You always thought he looked a lot like Michael Cera. But your dad swears on the many hallowed tombs of Egypt that it is not. It is not. Okay, so it's not Michael Cera. Well, yeah. You always thought he looked like Michael Cera, and so he just thinks the character looks like Michael Cera. He's not saying it is Michael Cera. He just thinks, yeah, he looks a lot like him. But the dad is just is really adamant that, no, this is not Michael Cera. It's like, I didn't say it was Michael Cera, I just think he looks like him. Anyways, you're not sure about that, though. Okay, so there's some debate about whether or not this is Michael Cera. On the other wall is one of your dad's... Oh. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood the scene. Okay. So, okay. Oh, yeah, of course he obviously likes this, Okay, so obviously he likes this because he's wearing the same disguise as this person. Okay, so this probably is Michael Cera, but probably for copyright reasons they can't actually, they're pretending that it's not, or they're making it debatable that it's not. Or maybe this is somebody who looks like Michael Cera that the author knows. Anyways. And the whole birthday clown thing, that makes sense because the dad's obsessed with baking cakes, so that's so I get it. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense for this young character to like the clown picture, so that was my mistake. Okay. On the other wall is one of your dad's stupid clowns, or harlequins, as he is quick to correct anyone who would venture such brazen assumption. It's like, they're not toys, they're action figures. It's like, it's not clowns, they're harlequins. It's like, that doesn't make it more sophisticated. Alright, let's go downstairs. I just need to finish this coffee before it goes cold. So we're going downstairs. We're downstairs. Ooh, a big birthday present. I remember this part. Hey, this looks like hell of a bus. These pictures. Okay. The accursed odor of fresh baking wafts into your newfound nostrils. Newfound? Oh yeah, because he's got like a fake nose. Something is brewing in the kitchen. It must be sorry. It must be the connivings of your It must be the connivings of your arch nemesis, Betty Crocker, and the rich buttery aroma of her plot stinks to high heaven. Who's Betty Crocker? Betty Crocker, a brand and fictional character used in advertising campaigns for food and recipes. So it's kind of like Hatsune Miku, but for cooking. Interesting. So it's like Hatsune Miku, but more corporate and more... I don't know. Just a thought. The accursed odor... hang on, I already read that part. This mission is going to be more difficult than you imagine. Okay, let's admire the Harlequins if we must. The action figures. You check out the shelves of fanciful Harlequins. Look at this fucking garbage. You hate this stuff. Funny is funny, but your dad sure can be a real cornball. Sometimes at night you pray for burglars. I love this so much. Alright, let's examine the fireplace. So I don't remember there being a fire in the cartoon. Because it felt like, I don't know, it looked like summer in the, I don't know, if it's set in April, then that means it would be spring or something. It's probably springtime. Okay, so that makes sense. So why would you have a fire going during spring? If this is supposed to be set in America, that is. But it's being animated in Australia, so autumn. Alright, anyways. A bright orange flame flickers in the fireplace. It doesn't matter that it's April. Okay, so at least it's being aware of itself. It doesn't matter that it's April and not terribly chilly outside. Yeah, I did say. In a home, a fireplace needs a fire because that's what a fireplace is for. A fire belongs in a fireplace. Damn it. Categorically at all times, without exception. As domestic myth of unaccountable origins holds, a home borrows the spirit of the flame for as long as it makes a guest of it. Much as the moon takes liberty with the sun rays. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. Mark Twain. You are almost certain Mark Twain said that. We'll see. So this felt like a very long-winded way of saying, yeah, but we need aesthetics over everything else. Yeah. Yes, let's set the Game Bro on fire. Toss Game Bro into fire. Okay. It doesn't burn as quickly as you hoped. Each Game Bro magazine is guaranteed to be printed on 40% recycled asbestos for big ups to Mother Earth, yo. Whoa. Fondly regard cremation. You examine the sacred urn containing your departed Nana's ashes. That's interesting. I don't often... So usually in these sort of stories, in media, pop culture, a grandparent is just called grandma, grandpa, and that's it. Whereas for me, I actually called my paternal grandmother Nana, and this is like the first time I've read something or seen something where the character is referring to one of their grandparents as Nana. So I don't know. That's just an interesting little detail. When your father gives her portrait a wishful glance now and then, you can tell it brings back painful memories. A tall bookshelf, a ladder, an unabridged kernel. He never wants to talk about it. Okay. Is he saying that... Okay, so did the grandma, like, climb a bookshelf on a ladder to get John this book called Colonel Zachary, and then the grandma fell off the ladder and died, and that's how John got the book? If so, that's an incredible implication. All right, let's topple the urn if we must. Okay. Oh man. You clumsily mishandle the sacred urn. Ashes everywhere. In retrospect, upon mulling semantic tropes regarding ash-filled urns, this outcome was a virtual certainty. Yeah, I mean that's a dumb place to put somebody's ashes. Honestly, I don't understand the idea of holding on to someone's ashes, like in your home. Like, I don't know. Like cremation makes sense to me. I don't understand why you have to hold on to the ashes. Just let the ashes go. Just scatter them somewhere appropriate. You don't have to keep it around. It's just weird to do that, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe other people feel differently. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people need it for whatever reason. I just couldn't deal with that personally. You'd probably better you'd probably better clean it up before Dad finds it. Yeah. Combine father's pipe with clever disguise. Okay. You think now would be a good time to beef up your clever disguise. Examine oversized gift. Looking. Champ, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. I believe in you. Contemplating what could be inside this package is sort of exciting, but it makes you a little nervous at the same time. Open large present. Okay, it's the clown, right? Okay. See, reading Homestuck as opposed to watching Homestuck, there's a lot more clarity in reading it, I have to say. Like, granted, I've read the beginning a couple of times now, but I don't want to start again, ever again. Anything but that. Let me just check the chats real quick. Someone on Twitch said wave. I don't know what that means, but hello there. Let's see, anyone? Let me just make sure. Someone's calling me, just a second. Yeah, it was just a junk call. All good. Alright, so. Oh, hell no. Yeah, so the fact that the dad's into harlequins as opposed to clowns. This comes across as a gift for the dad rather than for the son, so hopefully he gets a real present soon. Alright, let's capture log the ashes. Okay. First you prop the Harlequin doll up on the couch, having it in the middle of the floor sprawled out, or akimbo-like, that struck you as unseemly. You capture log the ashes to your available card. Combine ashes with urn, good. You merge the sacred urn with the ashes. Most of the ashes back in the urn, but it's a total mess. Really, it probably should have been tighter if you just used a broom and dustpan. Well, put urn back. Click, click. No one will be wiser, except maybe for people with eyes. Go get fake arms again. Okay. You just got another brilliant idea for something to do with those pointless arms. You pry them out for the cake and capture lock them. Looks like Pester Chum is acting up again. Okay, this is back. He's back in his room. John, examine third and fourth walls of room. Okay. Okay, so this is a different angle we're looking at things from. Ooh, Face Off. Armageddon. I have not seen Armageddon. I've tried watching Contact. I don't like it. Oh my god, Ghost Dad. Oh god, that was a bit of a jump scare. Oi. Let's check Pester Chum. Another one of your chums is messaging you. I'm assuming it's not Turn Tech God this time. Let's check message. Okay. So we're talking to Tentacle Therapist. Okay. I understand you have recently come into possession of the beta release of the Game of the Year as featured in respectable periodicals such as Game Bro magazine. That's an ugly rumor. Whoever told you that is a filthy liar, and you should probably stop hitting on him all the time or whatever. I can't control myself. I must have a weakness for insufferable pricks. So that they didn't say prick in the cartoon. That's a shame. They toned it down. That's a shame. Anyway, I still haven't checked the mail. My dad has it. I'm trying to get it from him, so BRB. John, what? You're wearing one of your disguises now, aren't you?
You are typing to me right now while wearing something ridiculous. No, why would you think that? That's so stupid. Okay, why don't you get the game from your father? All right, wish me luck. Oh, by the way, JK, I was wearing a funny disguise this whole time. Gotcha, hehehe. I know, John. All right, let's go back downstairs. I just gotta go to the bathroom real quick, so just give me... And I'm back. Okay. Let me just quickly check the streams. Okay, person said, did only my first message appear? Oh, hi. Yes, hi. I'm just a person in Twitch. I don't see any other... Let me just refresh, actually, just to make sure. Let's see. Oh, hang on. No, I can't see your other messages because it's using black text and I'm in dark mode, so it's hard for me to see what you've written. Let me just turn the brightness up. It's just wave, and then you said, did only my first message appear? So I don't... Let's see, and then you say lol. Yeah, so that's all I've seen from you so far. I don't know what else you wrote to me. Must be a weird glitch happening on Twitch's end. I can't explain what that was. And I'll just check the YouTube chats. No, it just seems like I've got one person watching on Twitch, and I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Okay, let's going back downstairs. You can now execute that brilliant idea you had. There should be just enough there should be just enough frosting on the fake arms to serve as an adequate adhesive. Okay. Okay. I'm just starting to realize that the reason he has fake arms is because his dad has harlequins. And so his dad's into clowns, is into clownery, and this kid is into, what's the word? The illusionary arts. So they're both weirdos, but he thinks he's a bit cooler than his dad, as most kids think they are. Let's see, where was I? Okay, let's attach the arms to the doll. You don't care. You don't care what Colonel Sasakray says. That makes it at least 1,000,000% funnier. Inspect burnt paper on the floor. Let's see. Wait. Okay, there. That's it. Bloberone. You put this back in the fire where it belongs. Okay, so that was just an advertisement. Okay, that's what's left of it. Throw present wrap in fire. Hopefully without throwing the present in. As long as you're cleaning up, capture log doll. You can carry hefty items, but this thing is just way too heavy. Get real. Besides, you don't even want it. What are we going to do with it then? Why did you put the arms on it? What are you going to do? All right, let's read Colonel Sassakray's text. I cannot pronounce this guy's name. Okay. All right, continuing down. Okay. Hell's bells, we're having a mighty sporting time of it. Hold fast, my intrepid fellow pranksmiths. We've merely nicked the mahogany of our japing chests. If I may direct the incisive ogle of your beagle puss to the wriggling regency of rubber bugs, plastic parasites, squirming serpents, pliable pests, and every such order and phyla of creepy crawly, land sakes alive, we are cooking with petrol now. Let's see. Sassakray's book is filled with nonsense words. Lol. Yeah, that's. I agree. I would love to say all of this dialogue with confidence if I could, but it's a little incomprehensible if I'm being honest. In further exhibits, we shall dwell on artifice useful to your exploits. Is your pappy's rod and reel handy? What about a bit of iron cord? It shouldn't prove elusive. Bring those writhing rascals to life, and set the nerves of some old maid to the wreck of anyways, do you have a bothersome aunt who never seems troubled to find ways with your sunny afternoons, a broad splintery fence, a bucket of whitewash perhaps? By gum, I need to say that. I've heard other old people say by gum, and I would like to adopt that phrase into my vernacular. By gum, you'll fix her wagon. And what of that tawny gent who puts his lackadaisical lean near the Prilla, I don't know what that is. Font? Oh, okay, so it's a type of font. He puts his lackadaisical lean near the fancy font. You'll have that listless what the heck's an octoroon? Find the spring in his step just yet. Let me just look up. So I think I've heard that word before. Oh, yep, okay. I thought it was that. Yeah, so it's a racial word. I think yeah. Anyways, not fun, but all good. But that's kind of the point, is that this is from a guy from a different time. So it's yeah. Too real, man, too real. All of the words you could look up on your hang on, what are you saying? Of all the words you could look up, you picked the worst one. Yep, I'm sorry. I should have just walked away from that. I just wanted to make sure, because I trying to remember a movie I saw. I saw a movie called, what's it called? It's called Molly. It's called The Legend of Molly Johnson. It's an Australian movie, because if you don't know, I'm from Australia, and I was thinking that word was used in that movie. It's a great movie, but that's also where I learnt that word, and I was having a flashback to that. I just wanted to confirm that. Anyways, let's move on from this now. Okay, you thought about consulting the text to determine exactly how hilarious the doll is now, but this text is way too big to navigate in a timely fashion. You decide to forget it. Let's forget it then, yes. This is the book that killed your grandma, dude, from what I understand. You shouldn't have this book. It's cursed. Let's find Dad and retrieve the mail. Yes, let's talk to Dad. The door on the left leads to the kitchen, from which the smell of baking wafts, a powerful aroma which could lift an especially portly hobo off his feet. That was a very cartoonish sentence, very visual. The door on the right leads to the study where your dad spends a lot of time. He could be in either room. Where will you go? Go in the study. Yeah, it's a good... Yeah, my dad's usually in his study. Or we call it his computer corner. It doesn't look like he's in here right now. This does not look like an adult's office at all. Other than this, what do you call it? What's it called? A lockbox? No, that says there's a different word for it, but I'm too tired to think of what it could be. Okay. It doesn't look like he's in here right now, so let's examine the father's desk. On the desk is a deck of playing cards, one of your dad's pipes, the April issue of the Serious Jester magazine, Serious Jester, and a stray capture log card. There is also a can of peanuts on the desk. Ha ha, oh Dad, you won't be falling for that one again anytime soon. A severe peanut allergy is a terrible affliction to cope with. Oh, okay. Sounds like the dad's a psychopath. Okay. Upgrade costume with hat from Hat Rack. You swap the magician's hat with the bowler hat. He's looking very Sherlock right now. This disguise is somewhat less funny, but a lot more distinguished looking. Combine second pipe with clever disguise. Your dad maintains numerous pipes around the household. A father without a pipe is like a strapping roughneck without a toothpick. That is to say, he is a rather piss-poor excuse for a roughneck, if you ask me. You'd rather not take the pipe, though. The first one tastes bad enough as it is. You suffer for your comedy. Examine capture log card. Yeah, I was looking at this upside down, and initially I thought this looks like the poster for the Dark Crystal. Yes, this will be perfect for expanding the space in your Scylla. Capture log capture card. Capture log card. Blah, blah. Play haunting piano refrain. Oh, sound. I'm not sure if you're still watching, person in Twitch, but if you could tell me that my desktop audio is working, that'd be cool. Because it wasn't working yesterday, as I discovered. Pages including sound will be preceded by S in the command. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't want to say your name out loud because I want to be mindful of people who might not be comfortable having their names said out loud, but thank you for clarifying. So thank you, Blah37, for letting me know. Let's see. I have a name. It's Blah. I don't care if it's a nonsense name. And no, I don't hear anything. That said, I've reread Homestuck several times, so I don't know what's playing. So I was just looking at I'm looking at this page right now, and there was a piano playing just then. So there must be something wrong with my desktop audio on OBS. I thought I fixed it last night, but if that's the case, then that means last night's stream, when I was watching Skinamarink, that means no sound was coming through. Oh, so you could hear the music. Yeah, sorry, I'm very bad at reading. No, I don't hear anything. That said, so you know what's playing. Okay, so you know what's playing, but you couldn't hear what was playing just then. Is that what you meant? Okay, so there is something wrong with my desktop audio. I hate that, but let me just see if I can fix that. Just give me a minute. Hopefully it won't be too long. Can I fix this? Alright, I've just come back. Not sure if you're still there, Blah37, but if you are there, could you let me know if the desktop audio is working? I'll just play some of this interview here.
Chicago. I get to be with them in Toronto next week. And, you know, we all have our group chats. We all have our,
I might
you know,
just
our
check
text
on my...
chats. So we're all planning
Hiya.
out, like, okay, like, we got dinner
Can you hear
reservations
the
here for
desktop
Saturday. Let's
audio?
check this place out.
Who's
And,
sending the memes? Who's trying to be the funny one?
oh, it depends. In there's certain people
Sorry, I think
who do
there's a little
certain
bit of
things in each one of
lag,
the
a
group
bit of
chats. Like,
lag
there has been
between...
one.
Oh, good,
Immune to
okay.
Lie.
So I don't know why my desktop audio keeps turning itself off every time I'm streaming, so I guess that's just something I need to check from now on. Thank you, Blah37. I shall continue. Okay, click to unmute. Yes, so this was the song that was playing before. Okay. What did you say about Safe? Let's see, what did you say about Sassacre? Let me see. It's full of nonsense words and... Sorry, for some reason, Sassacre, like, oh! Okay, so Sassacre is supposed to rhyme with massacre, is that what you're saying? Sorry, for some reason, all of your messages that weren't appearing before have just appeared all of a sudden. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm just seeing everything you've written has just appeared all of a sudden. It's a okay, Game Bro Pog is a spirograph symbol. Not sure what that means symbolically, but it's cool. You haven't read Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I didn't really explain myself very well. Yeah, sorry, I will... Yeah, sorry I missed out on all your messages before. But yeah, it seems like Twitch is letting me see everything now. Oh, wait, okay. Brain Blast. Anyways, let's play some 52 Pickup, which is a thing I've never played before. Okay. Ooh, is that the Joker there? Of course the dad would like the Joker, of course. Okay. You play the prankster's favorite card game, even though you are alone in the room, thus rendering it an especially foolish version of solitaire. So stupid. Look at this mess. The peanut gallery over there sure is getting a kick out of it. You are allergic to their scorn. If I don't look at this picture properly, like directly, it looks like the person looks like a nun to me. Okay. Attempt to leave the house. Okay. I'll leave the house. You go back into the living room and contemplate checking the mailbox outside. You think perhaps you should exhaust all possibilities before plunging headlong into a dad encounter. Your television is currently airing a commercial. Let's exit. Sorry, I've just got some pins and needles in my leg right now, so I'm just trying to let it pass so that I don't scream. You exit the house. Let's check the mail. Ugh. Predictably, the mailbox is empty. You have already been scooped by your father. Whoa, animation. Ooh, sound. Wow, we're getting a full cutscene right now. Well, this has a very ominous vibe so far compared to the upbeatness of the pilot. I remember in the pilot, like the title Homestuck was also diegetically in the pilot as well. But everything felt more silly in the pilot. I'm starting to get more on board about what the criticisms of the pilot was. I did enjoy the pilot, but like, you know, in terms of it being an adaptation of the work, I'm starting to see what some of the problems are. I'm sort of like, you know, I wouldn't say like I'm a fan of Homestuck just yet, like not a hardcore fan. I'm sure I will be eventually, depending on what I end up appreciating about it. Let me just read what you're saying here. Oh, the pilot completely changed the tone of this page. It's the one where he's like mute narration. It is diegetic in this one too, although you wouldn't be able to tell in this frame. Yeah, so that's interesting. Like it's diegetic here, but it's hard to tell. But in the cartoon, it is more obviously diegetic because what's his name was Turn Tech God was telling John, look up in the sky, and he's like, whoa, what? And it was like, yeah, what is that? But then we didn't really question that at the time. Okay. Yeah, so I guess, like the comic has been, I keep calling it a comic, but it doesn't feel like a comic at all. But it doesn't feel like a book either. It's an audio something or other. But yeah, it has definitely been a comedy, and so, but it feels more like they were going for more comedy with that one and nothing else. It didn't really pick up on anything else that the comic was providing. I don't know, like, I guess, like, to me, like, a webcomic is more like, comics and webcomics are more like speech bubbles, whereas this is more reading, like, to me, the experience of this is like reading books on the internet. It's just using third person. And, like, I'll go on Clark's World and I'll read a short story there. And this is just like reading a book, and it just so happens to have like a picture at the top, which is not unlike books to do as well. Like, some books will have a picture like this somewhere. Like, I'm thinking of like the Narnia books, like back when I read The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. Every now and then an illustration would pop up, so to me this feels more like reading a book rather than reading a comic. So anyways, let's read this this nice little bit of text here. The streets are empty. Wind skims the voids, keeping neighbors apart, as if grazing the hollow of a cut reed, or say, a plundered mailbox. A familiar note is produced. It's the one desolation plays to keep its instrument in tune. It is your 13th birthday, and as with all 12 preceding it, something feels missing from your life. The game presently eluding you is only the latest sleight of hand in the repertoire of an unseen riddler. One to engender a sense not of mirth, but of lack. His course schemes are those less of a prankster than a common pickpocket. His riddle is absence itself. It is a mystery dispersing altogether, like the moon's faint reflection, with even one pebble of inquiry dropped in its black well. It is the most diabolical riddle of all. Absence diminishes little passions and increases great ones. As wind extinguishes candles, and fans of fire. Walt Whitman. Yes, you are certain Walt Whitman said that. 100% positive. You have a feeling it's going to be a long day. See, it's stuff like this that, see, the way this whole section was written does not feel anything that I would ever read in a comic. This feels like something I would read in a book, for sure, like in a proper book. And that's not a bad thing. It's a nice, it's good in its own way. It's okay that it's not like a proper comic. The longer this day ends up being, the harder this page goes. Just saying, it's quite nostalgic. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. So I'm nostalgic for this in different ways because it's set in 2009, and as I said before, I was 17 back in 2009, so it's taking me back to the last year of the 2000s. Actually, in a way, I'm so nostalgic for the 2010s now, so that's scary. Let's continue. So it's just a book, just a picture rather. Leave a surprise for the mailman. Oh man. Okay, leave a surprise. Okay, what's no? See if your father left the mail in the car. Yes, let's change the subject. Hang on. Hang on. Wait, does that mean, see, let's see, hang on. Just give me a second. So, blah 37, I was just doing some math here. Are you 23? Is that correct? Alright, okay, good. Alright, yes, I got it right. I used my brain. Okay. The door, alright, let's continue. Okay, so we're looking in the car, we see the green box in the car, as was the case in the pilot. The door is locked and your dad has the car keys. You peer in through the driver's side window. You don't see any mail, but you do see a green package. There is also something beneath it that looks like a slip of paper. Could these items have come in the mail? You don't see anything else that's usually in the mail, like bills and coupons. Maybe your dad forgot to take this stuff inside. So let's spy in the kitchen. I remember him spying in the kitchen. You try to get a gander through the kitchen window, but you can't see a whole lot. It seems your dad has been doing so much baking, the glass has steamed up. God, he is so weird. But you can see what's on the table beside the window. It looks like the mail is there. Included among it is a red package, some bills, your dad's PDA. What's a PDA? And an envelope that appears to be suspiciously labeled with the Spurb logo. Could it be? Unfortunately, the window is blocked. Let's go back into the kitchen. Let's see. A PDA is like a protophone. Okay, gotcha. Let me look up what a protophone is. Actually, I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, so it's like... It's not... So it's like a... So it's like a flip phone, but with a... It's like a really old tablet or something. It's not a word, it's a suffix, plus phone. Okay. Okay. Let me just look at that picture again, actually. Okay. So this is what he was referring to. Okay, so that's the PDA there. Gotcha. Alright. Let's continue. You have no other choice. You are going in. Clever disguise, it's time to work your magic. Let's enter. Are we about to get an action scene like we did in the cartoon? It's on. We're getting it on. Are we about to slap each other to death? Oh, even better, you say. Okay. Is it done? Do I move on now? What happens if I click on this? Okay, so that was all done. Time for me to move on. Okay. It's got some glitching. What? Okay, I'm just trying to like make sure I'm interpreting what I'm looking at correctly here. Okay. So he's saying, I recognize you through your disguise. So then I guess his disguise goes back into the Silodex capture log. Okay, let me just read what they're saying. Your dad sees right through your costume. You don't know what you were even thinking with this foolish ruse. Yeah? Me neither. You unequipped the clever disguise. It's not clever if it didn't work. Your dad wields a dreaded artifact of confection. He stands between you and the mail. No, get out of the way. There's only one way to settle this. Strife. I said strife, damn it. Okay, so I can choose. Okay, aggrieve and abjure. I don't know what those words mean, so I'm just gonna look that up. Do I want to aggrieve or abjure? So, do I want to approach this with resentment, or do I abjure, which means solemnly renounce my claim to the man. Well, I don't want to do that, so let's show our resentment. I wonder what would happen if I did press a jury. Let's retrieve the package and flee to our room. Abscond. You cannot abscond. You cannot abscond. This pesky guardian is blocking your path. You will need to engineer some sort of distraction. And now he banishes yet another artifact of confection. The man is ruthless. You'd better brace for impact in the most comedically striking fashion possible. See, stuff like this, I think they were able to adapt into the cartoon fairly well. It's just they did the other tones of the story no justice, unfortunately. All right, let's equip disguise for defense. Let's see. Okay. The beagle Aegis absorbs the blunt of the treat. Looks like Dad will enjoy the prankster's gambit on that exchange, as is usually the case. Alright. Yeah, no problem. Blast 37. Thanks for hanging out as much as the best you can. Hope your Wi-Fi gets better later. But yeah, you have a good night. I'm assuming you're from America, but yeah, I'll see you in the future. I'll keep going. I'll keep going for another half hour, and then I'll wrap it up from there. All right. The Beagle Aegis absorbs the brunt of the treat. Looks like Dad will enjoy... yeah, I already read that. Let's capture log the pie tin. Actually, let me just go back. I just want to look at that picture again. Okay, so his dad threw a pie at him. Okay. You cannot... Okay. You take the pie tin and unequip the beagle puss. Everything in your Silodex is pushed back in a card. The smoke pellets are ejected from the deck. Yes, this could be just a distraction. This could be just the distraction you were... Nothing happens. What a huge letdown. Take the cake! When two great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. Oscar Wilde. Wise words by a man who likely could resist everything but temptation. The cake forces Colonel Sassacre's text out of your Silodex. Boom. Sassacre, you beautiful bastard. Now's your chance. Abscond. Now that your dad is busy placating the smoke detector, you can safely sneak away. Yes, okay, good. Let's take the phone. You snag your dad's phone, or PDA, which just sounds like public displays of affection to me, but so that's why I'm referring to it as a phone, because it sounds weird otherwise. Maybe later you'll switch the background image to something hilarious as a prank. Besides, it may come in handy later. Your spare capture log card is forced out of your Silodex, and consequently,
integrated with the deck. You now have the 5 cards to work with. Take package. This red package is addressed to you. Take envelope. You got the spur beta, yes! Exit kitchen. Exit kitchen. Okay, get the cake on the couch. Why don't we don't, okay. You capture log the cake on the couch, expelling the pie tin from the bottom card. Combine the cakes to make a double-decker cake. Combine the cake, okay, yeah. You then merge the 2 cakes across all 5 cards. Everything in your silver decks is smushed between the cakes. Why don't you think these things through first? Retreat upstairs. Okay. We've seen, okay, we're retreating. You pause at the juncture and head down the hall. You are going to need something to clean up the mess you are about to make by dissecting this cake. To the left is the bathroom. To the left is the bathroom. To the right is your dad's room. It is locked and you are forbidden from ever entering. He has secrets. Ooh. So I wish they had brought up the fact that the dad had secrets in the pilot. Yeah, I think I'm going to be pro Homestuck when it comes to the comic. I'm going to be a lot more critical about the cartoon in the future. To the left is the bathroom. Hang on. Let's go to the bathroom and grab a towel. Okay. To enter the bathroom, you can see your backyard from the window. The jewel in its crown is the swing set, which has provided you with years of joy. There is also a spring-mounted pogo ride, which has been responsible for more than one painful injury and has provided you with years of lament. On the sink is your dad's razor. On the rack to the side is a fresh towel. Remove PDA, envelope, and package from cake. He's got it all in the cake. What the hell? Okay. Let's dissect this cake. You take the razor and use it to perform surgery on the cake. You take the towel and clean off the extracted goods. Retrieve your items. The items force the manhandled cake into the toilet. And just like that, your Silodex is full again. God, this thing is annoying. Go to bedroom. Admire failure to launch poster. Okay, failure to launch. Okay, yeah, that's the one with Matthew McConaughey. I haven't properly seen it before, but I know what the premise is. Basically, it's similar to another movie called How to Lose a Guy in 20 Days or something. You're not usually into chick flicks, but Matthew McConaughey's cool charisma could salvage any heap of smoldering wreckage. This is your McConaughey wall, a casual shrine to an amazing actor. The film above that one is a lot better, you think. Can you see her? I want you to move. I want you to picture that little girl. Chokes up. Now imagine she's what? Oh yeah, Time to Kill. I remember that movie. I sometimes forget that he was in that movie. You got us, Matthew. Your smooth talking exposed our latent racism. Damn, you are good. Okay. Let's check the pestachum.
Ooh, sounds. Garden Gnostic began pestering ectobiologist at 4:30. Man. Hi, happy birthday, John. Hello. Okay, I will talk to you later. Let's see. Garden Gnostic stopped pestering ectobiologist. Okay, so it's nearly 5 o'clock. Let's see. Turn Tech God began pestering at 22:05. Hey, Gigi. That's it. Hey, Gigi is looking for you. Why are you even so popular all of a sudden? It's his birthday. That's why. Is today some sort of special occasion or something? Did you do something to curry favor with ladies? Did you break your leg on a puppy or some shit? Dude, what are you doing? I discovered a comet that is going to destroy the Earth, and it was named after me. Now I am famous, and everyone wants to talk to me a lot. No, stop. Just no. Don't talk about your awful, stupid movies or make references to them. Your gross man-bro crush on Matthew McConaughey is an unsavory thing to behold. McConaughey, not McConaughey. Sounds like a noise a horse would make. God damn, that's so... it's so wrong, but so true. I.e. dumb. Equally dumb are all of those pictures of that clown you've got hanging up. Those are my dad's. I was talking about Nick Cage. Oi! Leave Nicolas Cage alone, you bastard. Oh, what? No, man. Cage is sweet. So sweet. Haha, so lame. You don't even like him ironically or anything. This is like for real, isn't it? Haha. I do things ironically sometimes. What about what I sent you for your birthday? No, what about what I sent you for your birthday? No, those are awesome. What? No, they're stupid. Which was the joke. The ironic joke. Get it? Wait, you're actually wearing them, aren't you? I'm wearing them ironically. What did he say? I'm wearing them ironically because they're awesome. Okay, this is why everyone hates irony these days. Like lately there's been like not everyone hates irony these days, but like there's sort of been a bit of a light backlash to irony. Like I still like irony, but like the irony has eaten itself, and this is a really good example of that. I'm wearing them ironically because they're awesome. The fact that they're ironic makes them awesome, and vice versa. You are taking notes on how to... Are you taking notes on how to be cool? Jesus, get a fucking pen. You do realize they touched Stiller's weird, sort of gaunt face at some point. Ew, yeah. Oh well. Anyway, speaking of which, did you get the mail? Yeah. Did there happen to be a package there? Yeah, there's a big red one. You should probably open it. I would, but it's trapped under the Spur beta, so I will probably open it after I install the beta. Oh man, the beta came. Yeah, want to play it? Haha, no way. Why not? It sounds so hells of boring. Just get, who's TT again? Tentacle Therapist to play it. She is all about that. Where'd she go? Her internet is blinking in and out, I guess. Probably be back online soon. Oh, and Christ is a sidecar. Oh, and Christ in a sidecar, you are still using the stack modus? Seriously, dude, you need to bone up your data structure and structures. That shit is just ridiculous. Okay, I will. Open browser and go to mspaintadventures.com. You decide to space out on the computer for a while before doing anything important. You open the Typhus web browser and direct it to what is indisputably the most amazing website ever created. MS Paint Adventures. The new adventure is okay, but you're not sure if you like it as much as the last one. Install the Spur beta. You decide it's time for less meta and more beta. You insert the CD and install the Spur beta. Spur version. Okay, client is running. What the fuck is this? Bone up on data structures. Bone up on data structures. Bookshelf. You go to your closet where you keep a lot of clothes and an array of handy computer programming guides. Read Data Structures book. Data Structures for Assholes by Buckminster Funny Uncle. You're not sure you really want to dig into this huge tome. It looks really boring and kind of ornery. Maybe you'll just check out that free modus instead. Get free fetch modus. You turn to the back inside cover where the free fetch modus is included in a plastic sleeve. This one is dictated by the logic of a queue data structure operating on a first in, first out method rather than a first in, last out method of a stack. Apply fetch modus Sylladex. Items capture logged in your Sylladex are no longer immediately accessible. You can only use the item on the bottom card and must wait for items on upper cards to be pushed back into it. For instance, the red package is now inaccessible. You can only use the razor at the moment. This modus doesn't strike you as a significant upgrade to your previous one. In fact, it almost seems more inconvenient. You figure you might as well give it a chance though. Switch back to stack modus. You suddenly wonder if this is even possible. You don't even remember if you ever had a physical card for the stack modus. You find this all to be a little abstract, and you'd prefer not to think about it too much. Put down razor. Put it down? You're not quite sure you understand. Pick up 2 items. You capture log one of the cakes. You finally found a use for all these littering pastries. Dead weight. Get another. Get other cake. His care got cut off. Oh no. The second cake causes the razor to launch out the front of your Sylladex. Oh good lord, what that beautiful face. You wish the razor would have failed to launch. Get more stuff. So good. You open your magic chest and capture log one of your favorite books of all time, Wise Guy by Mike Cabernet. There goes the fresh towel. Might as well grab those cuffs. You take the trick handcuffs, expelling the PDA like a bullet. So everything's gone orange. Oh god damn it. Open that package. To Egbert, or ectobiologist, from Turn Tech God, of course. Oh no, not McConaughey. You examine the package. It is from one of your internet chums. It's bound in packing tape though. You'll need something sharp to open it. Ah, of course, the razor. It's all so simple. You wonder why you didn't get razor. Let's see. Get dunked. Pick up package again. So the cake came out. Oh, his posters. Let's take this from the top. Capture log glass shards. You take 3 glass shards in quick succession and duck for cover. Your Silodex rains devastation on your room from above. Now that your cards are packaged with glass, you probably don't want to do that again anytime soon. You should probably get that stuff before you forget. Use the razor on the red package. You open the package. There is something suspicious inside. Something suspiciously dirty and smelly. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. It is a stuffed bunny, much like the one held hostage briefly in Malkovich's Cyrus the Virus, while taunting hard luck protagonist Cameron Poe, and strikingly similar to the one scooped up from the soot of a burning Vegas strip by Cage's Poe and offered to his daughter, a gesture symbolic of a tattered exterior surrounding a heart of gold. Poe wasn't much to look at, but he was a good man. But no, it is not merely like that bunny. According to this note of authenticity, it is the very same bunny. This is so awesome. That is kind of awesome. Okay, let's check status of Spurb Beta. It looks like your computer is trying to get your attention. Look at monitor. Systems incorporated. Client is running. A Spurb host user is attempting to connect with you. Client has established connection with host. Press enter when ready. Check Pester Chum window. Let's see. Tentacle therapist began pestering ectobiologist. It looks like you managed to retrieve the beta. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to try to connect. Okay. Whoa, okay. I just got the most awesome present. The rabbit. So sweet. I've heard tales of this wretched creature often. Its Homeric legend is practically ensconced. I don't know what that word means. Enscon. Let's see. It's practically established. It's practically settled in a comfortable, safe place in the fold of my personal mythology by now. Haha, what? Why don't we focus on the matter at hand? Oh, the game, okay. I don't really know how this works. What am I looking at here? You are running the client application. I am running the server, so I am the host user. I have established a connection with you. This is sufficient for us to play the game. Oh, okay then. Why don't we get started? Press enter. Here we go. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Let's keep going. Actually, how long have I been streaming for? Been streaming for 3 hours now, so I think this is a good place for me to stop, and I think this is also a place for me to let's see. Oh, I'm just looking at the person, someone on YouTube saying keep reading, but I mean, I have been streaming for 3 hours now, so I think I'll just stop here. I shall continue tomorrow, probably. Yeah, I've got tomorrow off, so I could stream for a bit. I do have somewhere to go tomorrow, but you know, I'll keep going. Yeah, I'll stop here for now, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. I'll just save the game here, where we shall continue. All right. Thank you to anyone who was watching me, whether it was on YouTube or Twitch. I appreciate that. And I hope I'll see more of you tomorrow as we keep going. All right.